What's going on, Q Crew? Y'all already know I'm your host, Suave Q, aka the Q Pill. You guys are tuned in for another dosage of Q Pill. And in this dose right here, we're going to be reacting to the divorce between Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen. Now, y'all know me. I talk about all the time. Women are insatiable. And this, yet again, highlights that point because you can't do better than a man like Tom Brady. But women are selfish. And I told y'all a lot of the times when they initiate divorce, it's on the emotional factors. It's a lack of commitment, which is the number one reason women initiate divorce. So it's for emotional reasons. It's being dissatisfied because, let's face it, it's all about them and their feelings. Happy wife, happy life, right? But before we react to it, y'all already know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and share this content with your family, your friends, your colleagues, your peers. Going to be a pretty lengthy reaction, but you guys are going to enjoy it nonetheless. So without further ado, let's get a dose of this shit. I've already said everything that I need to say. We just gonna react to it. I seen two videos. We'll see if we can play both of them, because sometimes this shit be acting up. But we definitely gonna play this one. He ruined his marriage in 40 days. Notice how they put accountability on Tom Brady. It's always the man's fault. Men are always vilified. I told y'all, it's always the man's fault. Anything you want to know about why a marriage didn't work, just ask the woman and she'll tell you. Well, he did XYZ, never what they did.
It's easy peasy.
Voting by mail.
It's easy peasy to skip this shit too.
After years of asking Tom Brady to put their family first, Gisele Bündchen has finally filed for divorce. They looked like the dream couple, a Victoria's Secret supermodel and the greatest NFL quarterback of all time. But under the surface, Gisele was dealing with so much. Tom getting another woman pregnant, publicly humiliating Gisele, leaving her to raise their kids alone. At one point, Gisele even considered taking her own life.
If I jumped, like, it would all be over.
When she gave Tom an ultimatum, it seemed like there was hope for their marriage. But after
Okay, first off, let me stop it right there already. We already knew what this about. We already knew what this was about. I knew for a fact that when he announced that he was coming out of retirement, that this was going to be an issue. And anytime you're dealing with a woman who gives you an ultimatum, man, that's a red flag. Why? Because at the end of the day, and this is going to sound radical, but if I'm a guy like Tom Brady, even if Gisele is who she is and as popular as she is, she's popular for her looks. This man put in tens of thousands of hours on the field to generate the gravitas, accomplish everything that he's accomplished at this point in his life. And as a woman, if you opt to be a part of that, then you should understand his love for the game. You should understand what it is that he does is a part of who he is. This is his job. How would this be any different than a man who, if he worked a regular 9-to-5 or worked in corporate, opted to retire in his 60s? This man is 45. This is all he knows. He wants to do this as long as he can. And it's not like he just always leaves him home. My man takes him. They come to the games. They support him. How do you not get enjoyment out of being a woman who has a man this big, a husband, who is one of the greatest athletes of all time, and you make it about you and your feelings because you want him home? That's some selfish shit.
Only 40 days, he blew it all up. What did Tom do to finally push Gisele over the edge?
He did tell me that he was going to play only for 10 years. When I met him, he said, listen, I'm just going to play for 10 more years and I'm going to win one Super Bowl and I'm going to be happy. Now you won 2 Super Bowls. It's the end of the 10th year. And I was like, yoo-hoo, let's go. I'm ready. But then he's like, no.
Still got a few more to go.
Yeah, he said that.
My life's focused around football. It always has been and always will be as long as I'm playing.
From the very beginning of their relationship, Gisele has taken on a lot for Tom, and it goes beyond football.
So you're madly in love with Tom, and then you find out that his former girlfriend is pregnant.
I found out the same day the press found out. Here I am thinking I'm dating this guy. Everything is great. And then this happened. I didn't know what to do. Do I just run away? When you're in a situation like this, when your heart is involved and you're in love with someone, it was a very challenging time. for all of us.
Gisele stood by Tom and welcomed his son as if he was her own. And when
Wait, hold up. So Tom Brady cheated, had another baby on her, and she stayed. She can claw her way through that. She can overcome that. But this is the last straw. This is where wow, are you fucking kidding me? This is where the train stops in its tracks. This is where she draw the line. Him not wanting to come home so he could get a couple more Super Bowls, or at least to attempt to. Yeah, I can deal with the fact that you had another baby on me, Tom, but I cannot deal with the fact that you don't want to retire. I just can't do it. I'm going crazy. It's either me or football. What's it gonna be, Tom? What's it gonna be, huh? Gisele, football. Oh, after everything I've been through with you, Tom, everything I've been through, you're going to choose football over me? Me and the kids? No, not over the kids. Not over the kids. Not over the kids. Why can't you support me? Because I'm tired, Tom. I'm tired. I'm tired of being rich and famous. I'm tired of being your wife. I want to go and chase my own career and my own dreams again. You're not allowing me to do that. I can't. I'm here all day with these kids. They're crying. You're on TV. You're probably out, God knows, doing what. Babe, I call you after every game. That's beside the point, Tom. You chose football. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna take our kids and your son, and I'm leaving. I'm filing for divorce. I'm calling divorce lawyers. I'm leaving tomorrow. She could deal with this man cheating, but she couldn't deal with the fact that he just wanted to play a couple more years, and she'd been with him this long? Really, you couldn't bear it a couple more years? Damn, it ain't that bad. She must not be a Tom Brady fan. She's not a Tom Brady fan. She can't be. She can't be. How do you leave this man? Because he wants a few more chances at doing what he loves. You can't be supportive through that? That's a deal breaker for you? When you signed up for it, even if he went back on his original plan to only play for 10 years and win one more Super Bowl. You don't understand. This is all this man knows. This is all he's done. This is his passion. This is his life. And typically athletes have to retire earlier than corporate, but he's still good at it, so he might as well. You couldn't ride this out a couple more years, man. That's crazy.
Gisele gave birth, she gave up her supermodel career to stay at home and support their family.
When I became a mother, it really became my priority. I just wanted to be with my kids. I couldn't see anything more important.
Football was my first love.
And I think it's like his main love, really, quite frankly.
She's the one that, supports the family, makes a lot of the sacrifices.
But Tom wouldn't put his family first the way Gisele was.
I'm not putting it.
See, and Tom Brady exemplifies exactly what we talk about. Be a man of purpose. Be a man of purpose. Your love life doesn't come first. Your purpose comes first. A woman should be there to do exactly what Gisele did. They had it. They had the magic formula. He's a guy who goes out and conquers his domain, which is football. He makes a lot of money doing it. He builds he builds a family. He builds wealth. He's successful. They have family vacations. She has the life that everything she could ever want. Beautiful family, great husband, beautiful life. And the fact that he's not home, or he went back on his original commitment to, retire after 10 years, is the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm telling y'all, women are insatiable because they're emotional. And emotions change. You cannot please a woman because what women say they want before they actually get it is what they'll leave once they have it. What women say they want before they get it is what they will leave once they have it. This epitomizes that. This exemplifies that. As a woman, you can't do any better than a caliber guy like Tom Brady. And mind you, he's going to be able to get remarried easily. He's going to be able to get remarried easily and continue like this never happened. She's going to struggle finding a guy of that caliber. She may never find another guy of that caliber. She's already in her 50s. Is she in her 50s or 40s? Either way, she's past her sexual prime. Yeah, she look good for her age, and yeah, there'll be men who date her. There'll be some men who's willing to marry her. But they will not compare to Tom Brady.
Energy to focus on things that I don't deem that are important. Even though other people may say, man, this is really important. I'm going to determine what's important for me. The hard part, I think, for me still playing is that my kids are getting older and I'm not available to them. Things still kind of revolve around my schedule, my day.
He puts a lot in that, and then everything else can fall out of balance because of it. For 6-7 months out of the year, I really take on 100%. I take the kids to school, so that I become a lot more present.
That takes up a lot of my time, but there'll come a time when that ends.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong being a stay-at-home mother who raises the kids? Isn't that the point? Is that not the objective? To raise the kids. You do 100% of the taking care of the kids. He's working. If he worked a 9 to 5 in order to support those kids, his job would either have to pay extremely well or he would have to work hella overtime so he wouldn't be home either, especially if she was going to be a stay-at-home mom. There's no side of this where he takes on less and she gets what she wants. There's no side of it. Either way, he has to put in the work. He has to put in the time, regardless of what his career is. He would have to do the same exact thing. And if she's going to be a stay-at-home mother, in order to support her and his kids, he would have to work his ass off, which would require him to not be home a significant percentage of the time, the majority of the time, and those things would fall back on her anyway. But that's what he's working for. Women are insatiable.
See, when do you think that will end?
Tom wasn't holding up his end of the marriage, even as Gisele told him what she needed.
His wife wrote him a letter explaining how she was upset with where the relationship was.
She didn't feel like I was doing my part for the family. And she's sitting there going, I have goals and dreams too.
Do you want him to retire? I want him to do whatever makes him happy.
When I am done playing, I really do want to be able to support her and what her dreams are, to be more flexible with schedule and time and commitment.
And when Tom announced his retirement from football,
Okay, what dreams do she's a supermodel, right? What dreams does she have that's so important that everything else needs to stop and start revolving around her? We don't give a fuck about Gisele. The only people who know her are other women. Tom Brady is known by the world. He's respected by everybody. Her net worth may be higher than his, but his status trumps hers. He's Tom Brady. Football is more popular than whatever the fuck she does. She has what she has because of how she looks. He has what he has because of what he can do. Skill level, talent. There's a lot more respect and admiration that comes with working to be that great rather than looking great and everybody just being like, oh, she looks good. We should pay her some money. We should put her on the cover of a magazine. She looks good. Yeah, I agree.
it seemed like he was finally ready to put his family first.
My kids and my family is certainly very important. They made a lot of sacrifice. I owe it to them too.
But just 40 days later, he changed his mind.
Brady says he's coming back. He has, quote, unfinished business.
He was doing a bunch of family things. I think the thought came to Tom, I do not want to be sitting there in September watching football on TV and saying...
He put his family first for 40 days and 39 nights. He put his family first for 40 days and 39 nights. He couldn't do it. I wonder if anything happened between them during that 40-day stint that egged him on to change his mind. Like, I wonder if they had an argument. I wonder if he felt that he wasn't like, I wonder what motivated him to continue, because at the end of the day, he do have a lot of Super Bowl rings. I mean, what more could you want? He is being a little greedy at this point. And as I said, I can understand Gisele's side with him originally saying, listen, I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna play for 10 years, win a Super Bowl, and then I'm gonna put my family first. That's the only issue I have. Like, don't go back on that. If you told your wife that you're gonna do that, don't go back on that. Don't go back on that and expect her to just accept that with open arms and be willing. Like, okay, yeah, I'm down for that, yeah. Like, come on, Tom. You can't do that. Be a man of your word. If you say something, be a man of your word. Stick to it. Even if I know it hurts. I know this is all you know. I know this is your first love. I know this is the only thing you care about. But I mean, you got to honor your word to some degree as a man. So that's the only point I can side with Gisele on. The rest is, this is the natural dynamic of love. This is the natural dynamic of marriage. She's a stay-at-home mom. That's what it should be. She's taking care of the house and the kids. That's what it should be. He's out making the money. He's conquering the world. He's conquering his domain, which is football. That's how it should be.
I can still do this as well as any of these guys.
But we also saw Gisele whisper into your ear, what more do you have to prove?
Yeah.
So, Tom, what more do you have to prove?
I still want to play.
I could sit here and go, well, stop playing football, so worry about what's going to happen, instead of saying, why don't I live my life in the ways that are going to be most fulfilling to me, which for me is doing what I love to do. Doesn't mean I should just stop playing because that's what everyone's telling me to do.
She had been so patient, but Gisele wouldn't wait forever. She had changed her own life.
Okay, so it makes sense. He was starting to feel pressured. He was starting to feel pressured by Gisele. He was starting to feel pressured by the people in his ear to retire. They telling him, listen, family is more important than these Super Bowl rings. Family is more important than trying to obtain this greatness or further your greatness. He felt some pressure. Clearly, he felt some pressure. And that can make you make a decision, a premature decision. I can understand that. He probably wanted to please her. He probably just said what she wanted to hear without actually thinking about it, because of course you don't know what it feels like to actually retire until you actually retire, and then you're trying to get used to a life that you haven't been living, and it's difficult. I can understand that. It's extremely difficult for him to just put the football down, put the helmets down, put the pads down, and just say, yeah, I'm done for good, knowing that he can still go out there and not only compete but be elite.
In a huge way once before, when she overcame an overwhelming panic disorder.
I'm a person who always likes to kind of have things under control.
In your 20s, you had panic attacks.
My world just kept getting smaller and smaller. I was trapped and I couldn't breathe.
And at one point, you went out on the balcony. What was going through your
mind? Because I lived in the 9th floor, it crossed my mind. If I jumped, like, it would all be over. That was definitely rock bottom for me. I was completely powerless. I didn't want to live that way.
And if Gisele could do it once, she could do it again.
I know when you're in the middle of the storm, sometimes you don't see there is a light in the end of the tunnel. I have to make some changes in my life because no one can come and save me from this.
After 15 years of waiting for Tom to put her and their family first, Gisele finally did it for herself. She told Elle magazine, I've done my part, which is to be there for Tom. I moved to Boston and I focused on creating a loving environment for my children to grow up in and to be there supporting him and his dreams. Now it's going to be my turn.
She said, fuck till death do us part. She said, when you finish winning the rings that you told me you gonna win, and then it's my turn. That's what she said. She said, I did my part. I did my part. Meaning, I've done all I can do. There's nothing else. Our kids are grown. They don't depend on us anymore. I've done my part. They're little ass kids. There's still a lot more raising to be done. There's still a lot more celebrations to be had. There's still a lot more support to be given. She put a time frame on her doing her part. Because that's what that says to me. She put a time frame on her doing her part and said, yeah, this is sufficient. Time for me to do what I want. Time for me to stop being a wife. Time for me to start being my own woman again. Time for me to go back on everything that I initially committed to. This isn't what I want anymore. I don't want to be Tom Brady's cheerleader anymore. I don't want to be Tom Brady's wife anymore. It's all about Gisele, because Tom is all about his purpose. And if I'm not incorporated into that in the way in which I envision myself, even though he still spends time with the family, even though he still is there, even though he still is supportive, even though he still is loving, even though he's been a great husband, I just can't do it. I can't do it. My desires for myself, they supersede my desire for this family, my desire to continue to support Tom Brady, my husband, because he's being selfish. Well, they're both being selfish. But at the end of the day, this is what she signed up for. He didn't sign up for divorce. He didn't initiate this divorce. She signed up for everything that she's experienced. And if you ask me, for better or for worse, if this is one of those worse, she still got to stick it out, because if we being honest, it can't be that damn bad. The man is going to make some more money. The kids get to travel more. The kids get to continue to experience an affluent lifestyle. She continues to get to be his wife. They both continue to live lavish. They both continue to enjoy the finer things. And of course, she can do that on her own. But I'm telling y'all, I'd be really surprised if she doesn't end up regretting this or feeling like she made a mistake, because this is what you want out of life. This is what women want out of life. And it's a shame that the same things that women will like you for as a man, you continue to do that. And then what was once positive becomes negative. What attracted her to you becomes repulsive to her. That's insane, man. That's insane.
The only thing that limits us is time. What do we want to do with this time? We have to ask ourselves those questions. What are the priorities?
I'm creating space so I can be a mom for my kids and figure out what is really my passion. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. Nothing else matters. And if you feel loved and supported, that's what else is more important than that?
Did she just say figure out her passion? How old is this woman? She ain't figured out her passion yet in life. I thought she just said she loves being a mother and a wife. What could be more passionate than that as a woman? Why opt to be a mother and a wife if that's not going to be your priority, if that's not going to be the main priority, if that's something that you're going to go back on? This is why I'm telling y'all have to be careful with who y'all commit to. You have to be careful with the type of women that you deal with. This is why men have to vet effectively. Women want perfection. They want a utopia. They want an idealistic relationship. They only want what benefits them. Because at the end of the day, as I said, I'm going to keep saying them vows. Till death do us part, through sickness and in health, for better or for worse. That means nothing to women when they don't like how the relationship is going. And the reason that a lot of women don't like how their relationships go is because they had unrealistic expectations from the start. If women had more realistic expectations for how relationships and marriages go, what they go through, then they would be more prepared to deal with those adversities. But because they have unrealistic expectations, because they don't expect certain things to happen, or they don't imagine certain things happening, they don't know how to respond to them once they do. And what they do is they simply run. They end it. That's not the type of woman you want by your side. You want a woman who understands the realities of not always being on the same page, conflict, disagreements, disputes, negative energy. You want a woman who understands these things, and you want a woman who's so committed to you and the relationship, the marriage, that the degree of commitment that she has will never fall victim to her own selfish desires. That's what you want. That's why it's so important. And this is why a lot of men see marriage as pointless nowadays. Because if you can be Tom Brady, if you could be one of the greatest athletes of all time, if you could be a guy who seemingly does everything right, he's a great husband, great father, great athlete, and that still not be enough, you can't win. You can't win. So, I mean, that showed everything it needed to. That video alone broke down pretty much everything, the questions we may have had about what happened, even though many of us know it had to do with him coming out of retirement and his initial commitment to retire, and her not feeling like he puts the family first, and giving him the ultimatum that it's the family or it's football, it's her or football, which is something women should never do. Never give your man an ultimatum. Never make him choose between his passion and his relationship with you, because men can find a way to make it work. It may not look the way you want it to. A lot of you ladies, it may not look the way y'all want it to, because y'all are selfish when it comes to y'all feelings. But at the end of the day, you can't have your perfect relationship. You can't have the best of both worlds. You either have a successful man with the status, resources, respect, accomplishments of Tom Brady, an average man, or be single. And the unhappiest women are the single women. Even women with average men who have average lives, average marriages, are still happier. This is one of them things where y'all have to learn to value what you have, and it not be a lesson when you no longer have it. It shouldn't take hindsight for a lot of y'all to realize the type of men that you have, especially when you have a good one, a well-accomplished one. Women just fuck up homes. They just fuck up relationships. Women fuck things up because of their own emotions, because of their own selfish desires. That's why the divorce rate is so high today. That's why the number one reason for divorce is lack of commitment on the woman's behalf. The woman is not committed to the lifestyle. The woman is not committed. She didn't sign up for this. This doesn't make her happy. This is not what she wants. So now she wants out. The fuck you say yes for when I ask you, did you want to be my wife then? Because they have unrealistic expectations. And they expect everything to look perfect in their mind. And the moment that things start to get rocky, or that things start to get rough, they start to second guess that yes. And you guys don't want to be on that side of marriage. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Suave Q, aka the Q Pill. I'll see you guys on the next dosage of Q Pill. Over and out.